Hi everyone, welcome back to the Grove Game Series. Now unfortunately Matt had taken his jacket off at this point and it had his microphone on, so I've asked him to do a quick voiceover and explain what it is he's doing.
Okay, so what we're doing here, first of all, is just to brisket stick this roebuck and sever the carotid arteries around the heart. Because it's a chest shot animal, we want to get as much of that blood out of the cavity as possible, especially from where the hydrostatic shock of the bullet passed through may have sort of pushed some of that blood further behind the shoulders and things. So we're just sort of basically simulating pumping the heart here just to get as much blood through as possible, and also giving the back legs a bit of a kick simulation to try and get some sort of blood out of those leg arteries as well. Just sort of helps clear the blood out of the system, because that's what sort of decomposes fastest. So if you can take all that out, then you can sort of regulate your hanging time a lot better. This is called Hocking. This is basically just cutting between the hamstrings of the Achilles tendons, so it then allows you to sort of hang the beast to do a suspended clean gralloch. Okay, so what we're doing now is basically the process of removing the penis and testicles so that we can actually pull everything back through the anal canal. So it's like very sort of gentle cuts around here, because you want to basically keep the urethra, or the sort of P tube, for want of a better word, intact, because you don't know how full the bladder is, and if you nick that now, then it can be a bit messy, so we'll get a bit of internal contamination with urine. Here I'm trying to basically go right round the pelvic girdle to remove that urethra, and now I've done that loosely, we'll get it up on the branch for a suspended gralloch. This essentially means that all the gravity pulls the stomach and a lot of the other pipes down, which makes it easier and cleaner to use, well, to work with, especially on this area. So what I'm doing here is I'm just cutting around the anus, just sort of loosening around my fingers, pulling any sort of immediate fetal pellets out just to keep it nice and clean, and then sort of cutting it off at the top. Then what you've got is the penis, testicles, and the anus all separated from the actual the H bone. I should really have done this part on the floor. This is separating the esophagus from the back of the windpipe, because of the forage that deer eat. They swell up very, very quickly, and you can sometimes have sort of regurgitation of stomach contents inside the chest cavity if you're not careful. So what I'm doing here is I'm basically separating the esophagus from the back of the windpipe and tying a simple knot using the esophagus and the larynx as like a stop knot. That stops any regurgitation as I pull this back through the carcass. Okay, so what we need to do now is go through the process of actually pulling the arse end through the pelvic girdle. So what I'm doing here is I'm unzipping the down to the breastbone, and then what I'm going to use is the haft of my knife to force it through that rib cage all the way down to the end and through. What I can now do is pull everything from bottom to top, so to speak. So that's the penis and testicles come through. Is at this point as well, which is handy, you can start to remove the soft red offals if you want to keep them, like the kidneys. There's 2 kidneys, the liver and the heart. Once we've got to this stage here, we need to sort of separate around the diaphragm. That means we can then get the lungs and heart through, as you can see here. Just removing the liver here, checking it for sort of signs of any sort of liver fluke or other bits and pieces while I do so, as with the kidneys and the heart. And then once we've got all those bits out, we can begin the post-cull inspection of the organs. What I'll do here is just get that bit of blood out of the heart so it's easier to sort of store better and less messy on the board. Now here we've got the actual gralloch itself, which is the green offal. This is the stomach and the intestines. You need to look on the flat side here. What I'm doing is just doing a post-carcass inspection, looking for the various lymph nodes and glands to make sure they're all healthy. Lungs are especially important to check, because it's a good indicator of TB, but everything is fine here. So we've got a nice, healthy, clean carcass here ready to go into the food chain. I'm just going to dispose of the Gralloch now, somewhere where some scavengers can find it and where it's less obvious to passers-by.